Well, happy Humpty Hump Day, sports fans. Thank you so much for watching or listening to the Sportsline Podcast on the CHCH and Parrot Media platforms. I'm Bubba O'Neill. Folks, this podcast puts a premium on the many successful athletes, coaches, executives, and broadcasters who hail from Southern Ontario. But wait, two teams are on the court, but someone else is required to make it official. That's right, the men and women in stripes. Well, if you've ever been curious about being a referee or want to take your skills to the next level, the Fox 40 Academy is an outstanding place to start. Learn the proper rules, the mechanics, footwork, communication, and so much. You will get that veteran experience from instructors who have been in the heat of the battle. To break down this annual camp that dates back to 1988, let's bring in the two members of the Hamilton Board of Approved Basketball Officials, Mr. Ron Foxcroft and Mario Suffoletta. But who are we fooling here? Foxy and Motzi. Who are we fooling here? And the entire city knows that. So I threw the Mr. in there to give you some respect. It's gone from here.
It's over.
It's over from here.
Bubba, in all sports and all officiating, in this city, if you've got a nickname, it means you've made it.
I think so. I think so. I will say that much about you guys. Hey, thanks for coming in, guys. This is a great camp that you guys put on many years ago. It continues to this day. I do want to start there, or actually get there, but I want to start with this, because you guys are so, for my entire life of knowing you guys, which is dating into probably 3 decades now, you guys are basketball guys first. And I'll throw a comment for each of you guys here. When I just say SGA, what does it mean for you, Ron?
Wow. Probably one of the greatest athletes in the history of Hamilton, and we've grown up watching athletes in the GTA, Halton and Hamilton and so on. We've refereed many of them, but you know what? A tremendous athlete, but a well-grounded human being. Humble, proud to be from Hamilton. And Motzi said off camera, he wore the Canadian flag during the NBA celebration. Just, wow.
Motzi?
I got to agree with Ron. I officiated him in high school when he came over from Thomas More to McNabb, when he started in the January window, and played on the junior team, was coached by Wes Hicks, a long time coach, another outstanding member of the basketball community. And SGA, he didn't start right away. He would have been maybe the 6th, 7th man, but as 2 or 3 games go by, he started. But on that particular team, there were 7 players on that team that went on to NCAA Division I scholarships.
Wow.
7. Taranowski, who now plays with the Tiger Cats, was on that team.
Right.
Yeah, what a nice kid.
Another basketball named Kelly Grace, his son was on that team. That team was terrific. It was terrific. And then to go on from that, and he became the player that he became with the hard work and the dedication that he had, and to be where he is. And I mean, you can't take a step without somebody pushing you and prodding you and want to get your picture. And for him to be the professional and the Hamiltonian that he is, I love him to death. I love him. I love what he represents, and I love his work ethic. And he's a Hamiltonian.
And he say you're right. And he's glad to say that he's not from Toronto, which which if you're from Hamilton or work in Hamilton, you get that, right?
That's right.
Let me throw this thing to you again, Motzi. When you saw him, because you officiated him, and very much like Ron saw with the likes of officiating Michael Jordan for his very first game. Mike from Wilmington. And that I remember you and I talking on a podcast way back about what you could see of him as a player. What did you see of Shea as a player and what he's turned into now? Is there a little bit of that, or has he really developed that much?
To me, the way he plays, there's such a calmness. It almost seems as if when he's going to make a move, he's doing it at slow-mo, and the other guy's doing it quickly. So the guy goes by him, and then his control and his not getting overexcited, knowing what he wants. He was the same in high school. When they came on the floor, that entire team, those kids, they all played together. That's why they won the offset championship. That's why because of the togetherness and the team play. But his demeanor, his calmness, it was evident.
You guys have been officiating basketball games for as long as I can remember. And, like, Ron, you've been, it's amazing when I think about this.
Yeah.
You've been officially retired for, what, 25 years now?
Yeah, I went off the floor in 2000.
Like, it's amazing to think.
Right.
When you think about your love of basketball, when you think about what you did in your career, now that you're so well removed from it, what do you think about what you've accomplished?
Well, I don't think... First of all, I want to share what I've learned. And quite frankly, so many other referees now have accomplished more than I ever dreamed of accomplishing. So, my goal now is to share what I've learned. I spent 25 years in the NCAA. I'm in my 24th year in the NBA, sharing a job with my son, Steve. And, if you sit back and watch and learn and absorb, that's why we started the camp. And I had the great opportunity of being mentored by the best. Kitch McPherson mentored Motzi, mentored myself, mentored so many people, and established such a high bar of learning and work ethic and professionalism. And so we have an honor to share what was shared to us. So that's why we started the camp. Kitch set the high bar, set a great base for the Hamilton board to become a distinguished board in all of Canada. And personally, he prepared me to go to the Olympics and have an opportunity to go to the Olympics. And the best thing about officiating is not doing great. People say to me, what's the most memorable game? The next one. What's your best memory? The people you meet in officiating. So we started this camp, and I said, we have a duty, an honor, a privilege to share what we've learned from basketball officiating, started by Kitch, with everybody else. So we started the camp, and to be honest, Bubs, after doing the Olympic gold medal game, I went down to the NCAA and quickly realized I've got a lot to learn. And back then, officiating was a hobby in Canada. In the United States, it was a business. So I had a chance to rub shoulders with people that have spent their life in the business, teaching me. So now we have an opportunity to establish this camp, improve officiating, share what we've learned, and we could share it with the people that mentored us, the Kitch, the Bert, the Jim Lyle, the Lenny Parisi, but we also brought up people that taught me down in the United States. Dr. Henry Nichols, in the Basketball Hall of Fame, Dick Bavetta, J. Don Ferguson, the movie star who played the referee with Burt Reynolds in The Longest Yard. So our first camp was 1988, and we had 15 applicants. And they all said to me, I'm a high school ref, I want to be a university ref. 12 people left our first camp in 1988 and became university referees. Wow.
Job well done.
So I said, Motz, will you take this over and do all the work? I'll take all the credit.
Sure.
Anyway, Motzi agreed to take it over. And we're the longest serving basketball referees academy in all of Canada, right here in Hamilton.
I love it. And Motzi, too, to you, I mean, you've run up and down every gym in Golden Horseshoe.
53 years, Bubs.
53 years of doing that and seeing basketball played at all levels.
Yes.
Women, men, boys, girls, seniors. You've done it all. But in the back of your mind, was that also your mindset, too, that, one day I'd like to pay it forward, give back?
I was one of these kids when I first started, back in when I was a teenager.
1920?
Yeah.
Well, no, maybe a little older.
Okay,
maybe
sorry,
maybe
sorry,
30.
I'm just checking.
Maybe
sorry,
30.
I'll check my facts.
Maybe 30. I think in the 20s I was still on the boat coming over. So they used to play the high school championships at McMaster, both school boards, public and separate. So they had 6 games, midget, junior, senior. So I used to go out there, get on the bus, go out there, sit there and watch 6 games in the stands. And I loved it. I loved the action, the excitement.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I thought to myself, well, I can't get on the floor as a player. How can I get on that floor to be officiating? And at that particular time, Guy Cipriani, the Sipper, who is my mentor, and he's almost, I would say he's akin to being a brother to me, the same as Larry Snydero. Like the 3 of us have garnered a relationship so that we are family. So he was officiating. And he happened to live around the corner from us up on the East Mountain. And I was doing CYO basketball. Tuesdays, Blessed Sacrament, from 6 to 10, $1.25, back in 1963. $1.25, and I thought I was in heaven. I looked forward to it. I was working at Stelco at the time.
Sure.
You know, I was in heaven. And he took me to the officials, high school officials. So he took me, and I met Bert for the first time. And Bert had a bit, if you can imagine W.C. Fields, that's Bert.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah.
He had the glasses down to his nose.
Yeah.
And Sip said, Bert, I want you to meet a friend of mine, Motzi. He does some CYO basketball. He wants to join our board. Bert looked up to me and he goes, you any good? And I didn't know what to say. So Bert said, okay. And he says to Sip, okay, smart guy. You take him out next week and let me know what he's got. So I went out with Sip the next week.
Yeah.
Actually, he picked me up from Stelco at the gate because I didn't drive then. And we went to Aldershot. I did my first game. You know, 2 things from that game stick out in my mind. We're playing, they're playing, and all of a sudden the dog, because the doors were open because it was still hot, a dog come running into the gym, started running on the floor. So we had to stop and get the dog out. And then on another one, there was a whistle and there were subs. So subs, and I'm inbounding the ball. And you always wait for your fellow official to put his hand up. It means we're ready. So Sip goes subs. I handed the ball to the player, they're dribbling the ball. I hear, and I look at Sip and he goes, Mots. So I sheepishly take the ball back and give it. Those 2 things, that was my first start.
Yeah.
And I love the game for the same reasons that Ron says. Okay? Here I am. I'm sitting beside a guy who's done everything in basketball that I would have loved to do or had the opportunity to do. And he's done it. But he's just Ron. You know, he's still giving back to the community, making an effort to get the young people involved, because like everything else in life, you're only as good as the ones coming along.
No doubt.
You know?
Yeah.
And I got to where I was because of the people that were in the Kitsch era. Bobby Ross, Lynn Parisi, Lenny Wright, Bob Gilly, Bryce
Roma.
Leggett,
Yeah.
Pete Moore, all those guys. And all those guys had nicknames, by the way.
Yep. Well, I think I know our boy Moore, 2-6.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah, right.
instilled that in me to give back. And to me, I'm looking forward to Monday because, you know what, when I get in the gym and they start officiating, I can look at somebody and I can pick out who's got.
He's got it.
Yeah.
You know, in this day and age when AI is so important, okay? But you don't learn from a computer program or from reading rules on your phone. Especially nowadays, they have the rule book on their phone. So they call it up, and well, they got to blow it up, and then they got to move it over, and then they got to move it. You got a rule book, you just flip the pages, and you can just read everything.
Well, I'm glad you went there, because I'm going to go there. That could be my last question.
Okay.
That could be my last question, because I'm glad you talked about AI basketball.
Yeah.
But let me go here first. Our station manager, Greg O'Brien.
Yes.
He used to be an official
In Guelph. Pretty good, too.
He was really okay. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Right. So he used to be an official for a little bit.
Yep.
But stopped
Right.
doing it because he was somewhere in some gym, and someone threw a coin at him and hit him in the eye, and he all welled up and said, "I don't need this.
Yeah.
I don't need this."
Yeah.
Okay. You can just go to any Major League Baseball game and watch what happens between the manager and the umpire. It's
Yep.
part of the game.
Yep.
You look at the National Hockey League, and you see sometimes when the coach is standing up on the bench.
Yeah.
Now, I'm speaking about the highest level here. But this stuff also filters down to the lower levels. I've seen some, and over my years of doing sports, seen some high school coaches lose a gasket on the referee, lose a gasket on the linesman, regardless of the sport. So, Ron, I say this to you. Why do this?
Yeah.
Why be a ref? I've heard, and maybe this is where your camp comes in, where you have to be able to teach the students how to communicate. I'll let you go there.
Yeah.
But the possibility of this happening, especially at high-level sports where the margins are this thin.
That's right. They need us. The camp needs us because the sport needs officials. It's hard to recruit officials. It's harder to maintain them. And we lose 65% of our officials in year 3 for exactly what you just said about Greg O'Brien. Greg had a great officiating career and a great promise to move up, but he had an incident that took him out of the game. And you know, first of all, to be a referee, you need to have the right attitude, and you need to have the right work ethic, and you need to have a love for the game. If you haven't got those 3 things, it usually doesn't work out. But we need camps like this. What we do at the camp is we provide them with the confidence to move forward and make it past that year 3. And, you know, Motzi touched on this, but the most beautiful thing about officiating is A, the love for the sport, but B, the people that you meet. And we develop confidence in them. We teach them the rules, we teach them the mechanics, and you see, what we teach them is we're an uncelebrated constituency. People don't praise us. People criticize us. And what type of a person succeeds in officiating? Someone that can accept constructive criticism. If you can get over that hump and you got rules knowledge and you got a love of the game, you're going to be okay. Now, at our camp, we had 23 graduates last year from our camp move into our Hamilton board. And, you know, Bubs, there's a shortage of officials in every sport. So this is why become a referee? Well, number one, it's an enormous challenge, but it's an enormous opportunity. It's an enormous opportunity to have an opportunity to watch great athletes. Like Motzi had an opportunity to referee SGA. Who gets that opportunity? I had an opportunity to referee some pretty great people, one of them, Michael Jordan. So to answer your question, we need these camps to recruit them, maintain them, and help them develop the discipline to stay with it. Now, I got the same story that Greg O'Brien had. I was 19 years old and refereeing a university playoff game, and I got attacked by a fan. Attacked after the game. It was Windsor and Waterloo, and a fan came down and got to me, and fortunately the athletic director, Carl Totsky at Waterloo, saved me. And I'm 19 years old, I've just done a university playoff game, and I quit. I said, I didn't sign up for this. Very same story as Greg O'Brien. Got a phone call from a journalist, Bob Gage, of the London Free Press. He said,
Good guy.
yeah, Ron, you got a lot of promise. The game needs you. More important, you need the game. I don't hang around quitters.
Well said.
I went back and continued. I was 19 years old, spent 25 years in the NCAA. I'm now 24 years in the NBA. But I needed somebody to call me to develop discipline, confidence, because you're going to get abused. It's going to happen. So we look for people that have character, have work ethic, and have that opportunity to be able to accept constructive criticism in two ways. We're going to give them, our counselors, Motsy's counselors, Vern Bovell and the executive and so on. And we've recruited people from the United States to come and be counselors and share their knowledge. And we teach them. We teach them mechanics and the rules, but I think what we really teach them, confidence. Confidence. And if they couple that with a love for the game, we have an opportunity now. Now, we've had a young boy, 18 years old, came to the camp. He's now working tomorrow in the CEBL, Christopher Puccello.
Outstanding.
Puccello. I mean, and he started at our camp. It wasn't easy. And every time he moved up a level, he would tell me, you know, I faced criticism on this call, and he needed people like Motsy, myself, that he could phone to continue to maintain that confidence to stay with the industry. It's a tough industry, but a business like ours, the camp, is so necessary because a shortage of officials, you don't have officials, you don't have a game.
Don't have the game. Don't have the game, and we need the game, and we love the game.
Yeah.
And we do realize it, and it is true that the appreciation for the official in this world that we live in sometimes when we don't get the call that we want, or and I say this as a player, as a coaching staff, and of course the fan base too, who can sometimes really lose it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes I think we're all in the wrong space sometimes.
You said, have you ever thought about your accomplishments? No. I look at the referees today, and I would be considered an apprentice compared to the officials today. The officials that are coming out of our camp, the officials that are doing university ball, the people that are doing the CEBL, they are so good because they have the benefit of mentors. We didn't have a camp. Guy Cipriani became one of the most outstanding referees in Canada without the benefit of a camp.
Right.
And now they've got the technology and the camps and the mentorship and so on. Video. Everybody watches video of their game. We didn't have that, Bubs.
Right.
So I look at the referees today and say, you know, I would be considered an apprentice in today's officiating society.
You're someone that laid down the tracks, Ron. That's just the way I look at it.
Yeah, and it's our privilege to share what we've learned.
So let's talk about the camp here and what is going to actually happen to the young cadets, if I'll call them that, the young guys, or even young women as well too, that come into the camp. First things first, you have a keynote speaker that I want to talk about that obviously is in my business.
Yes, exactly.
You know, and someone that I've looked up to. We talk about mentors and apprentices, and I joke with the guy all the time about, you know, being this and being that, but I'll be honest there. Jim Taddy is a guy that I've looked up to, that I watched on television, that I don't want to say model myself after, but looked at. This is a guy that's doing the business the right way in terms of getting the information out, being entertaining, and had great knowledge of the business and the sport. Why does he work for you in this camp?
Well, he works for me because I've seen him on TV doing the sportscasts and doing interviews and doing that kind of stuff. And I talked to him. When I talked to him, I said, you know, do you want me to call you James or Jim? He says, James. I says, okay, James, I feel like I already know you from having seen you on TV, So I'm looking forward to actually meeting you in person. But I genuinely feel like I know you. I know your personality, your makeup, your enthusiasm. You know, and he has all those tools. Plus being a Mohawk grad, and this year, through the gracious people at Mohawk, from Paul Armstrong, the president, to Matt Ferreira, the athletic director, to Mihai, the women's coach, and Jamie, the men's coach, and to Ashley that works in the event center there. They have opened up their doors to us. And it is a facility second to none.
Wow.
And we now have 3 courts. When we used to be jammed in at over at Bishop Tonus into one little small gym, and then one gym, one normal-sized gym, and everybody was on top of each other. Now we've gone ahead, and like the first gym will be strictly newbies. The second gym, because we still have some of our people that come to the camp, because you can always learn.
To grow. If you stop learning, quit.
Yep. That's life.
Yeah.
They'll be in the second gym, and then the third gym will be basketball now at the college and the prep level. It's all 3-person officiating. So in that gym, we'll have 2 people running that gym who are both national evaluators, and they're from here.
Yeah.
Paul Johnson and Ray Samuels. And
Both those guys I remember refereeing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I so remember.
Yeah.
Right.
So they, from refereeing, they've gone on. And as a matter of fact, Paul Johnson is on the NASO officials board. He got put on this year.
National Association of Sports Officials. He's on the board. And having someone like Jim Taddy, who I would say he inspired you to go to journalist school at Mohawk College.
Absolutely.
And, you know, we started our camp in the bubble at Mohawk College in 1988. And it's only fitting that we go back to Mohawk College, have Jim Taddy, who I'm sure, you know, you can never have another first in. He was basically the first guy at 11:30 at night to do a sports show. And I know you went to
Must-see
Mohawk,
TV.
and I bet you he inspired you. So
Absolutely.
I wanted him because, you see, as a journalist, and I know you, I've watched you for your entire life, you sit back and watch people perform. And I'm sure that you've learned things about officiating by watching officials. Kits used to say to me, watch real officials, and you'll learn. Now, Taddy has been in the business his entire life. He's seen officials, good and bad. I want him to share what's good, what's not good about officials. How can you get better? So he's a great speaker. Day 2, we have a legend, Mark Walton.
Oh.
Mark Walton is in the University of Guelph Hall of Fame, started at Sacred Heart when he was 12 years old. I refereed his first game at Sacred Heart in the CYO. You know, we all learned at the CYO. We owe a lot to the CYO and to Blessed Sacrament and John Rocky and all those people that gave us a game to officiate. So we got Mark Walton. Now, our camp started, Mark Walton had a basketball referees or a basketball players camp. And I approached Mark and said, do you need referees?
Yeah.
And he said, yep. I said, okay, that's the start of the Fox 40 referees camp with the Mark Walton players camp at Mohawk College in the bubble. And now it's symbolic. We're moving back to Mohawk College this year. We're sold out, Bubs. Thank goodness. We capped it.
We capped it at 60, but
we got 80.
Now we have 83.
Yeah.
We don't turn anybody away.
But you have the extra space now.
Yes, that's what I'm looking so forward to. Extra space to referee, extra space to teach. I'm looking forward. There's a room as soon as you come in to the gymnasium on the left-hand side. It was Matt's office for a little while. Now he's moved out. And they have a meeting room table, and it's a basketball court. So it's perfect.
Yeah.
So we can take people in there and actually have like a basketball and 2 officials and move them on the court, and it's so big that it's almost lifelike, and show the people that, because like basketball, referees, there's always a reason why you're moving. You're not moving just for the sake of moving or because they got the music going or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
You're moving to a spot because of free throw line extended, lane line, the basket line, center line. Like, there's reasons when the ball is in a certain area, where am I? Boom. And there's a line that I need to go to get to where I should be.
So this is proper positioning is what you're speaking of, right? So,
Everything.
So these are the things, and I think it's important to tell these that are curious and those that are listening or watching, is it fair to say positioning, proper techniques, I threw out communication, obviously there are hand signals. Are these the things that you're going to polish up on these candidates?
On the people that have been with us for a while, yes.
Yeah.
On the newbies, positioning. And the biggest thing you just mentioned there, Bubba, is communication. Because they have to be able to communicate with the partner and know not only where they're supposed to be, but where their partner's supposed to be. So that you're not just like a spectator in the stands going, oh, that's a foul or that's a foul. It's areas of responsibility, areas we should be concentrating. When to look off that area, when that ball moves above the free throw line extended, which is a key. All of those things, and they're not going to learn, they're going to get a ton of information, but they're not going to be overwhelmed to the point where they say, oh my God, no.
Too much, yeah.
But they'll all be welcome. I guarantee you they'll all leave there having felt like they were welcome. And communication-wise, they'll learn to talk to people, not to be afraid to talk to people, not to kind of stand in the background, and have somebody talk to them and tell them something. And for them, because nowadays, we were talking about AI.
Yep.
You try having a conversation with somebody, or you go anywhere. You're driving. Look to a bus stop. The other day, I'm stopped at the light. I turn the bus stop. There's 8 people there. They're all like this.
It's true.
But the amazing thing, they arrive the first day scared to death, nervous, normal. If you're not nervous, you're not ready. But on the end of the second day, they leave as confident, ready to move forward, ready to make the next step, and with a mentor.
Right.
We encourage everybody to leave there with a phone number of a mentor. And to last year, out of 60 applicants, to have 23 become real, what I say, licensed, approved referees, that's pretty good.
Absolutely.
Because in our industry, we do lose. We lose for many reasons. For
sure.
So this is and it's important because when we came up, there was no camps. You just got thrown in. And right off the bat, you had player, coach, parent.
Oh, parents.
Abuse. Abuse. Parental abuse. So now they're going to leave here with some confidence. And we do teach them communication. The one thing at the camp that we're not going to provide parental abuse. Player, coach abuse. They'll get there.
There's no referee on wrestling crime.
No.
We're going to smother them with information.
Yeah, one day we had Mark Hebscher come out.
Good gosh.
As a camper.
Yeah.
And we staged 60 referees to abuse him on his first call. Mark never came back to CHCH critical of the officiating industry. That was very unfair of us, but we had a lot of fun with it, didn't we?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah. But we could do that with you.
We could.
Yeah, but
What, just more abuse? Not enough.
Yeah, right.
I position myself here so I don't take it anymore.
That's right. But we're so necessary.
Yeah, for sure.
Losing so many officials in our industry and now giving these people an opportunity, we want them to leave with confidence. And we want them to leave with excitement. And we want them to leave with a love for the game. and then we've accomplished what we set out to accomplish.
I'm going to go down the AI road here, right? And let's finish up on this here, because this is interesting to me, and we've all watched sports from on TV for many years and watched the way it's changed the presentation of it, the broadcasting aspect of it, the game itself. We've all watched this on television. Replay, all of this, though. Okay? Now, replay is a reality. You can't go back. In any sport, baseball, people say, CFL, what's pass interference? The questions go on and on. What's proper control of a catch? We can go on and on. But we've also continued to develop technology and officiating that kind of have to go together and find a way. Baseball, we're in a situation right now. We could be days away where umpires don't call balls or strikes anymore.
You're right.
The strike zone is a reality. They kind of tested it out at the All-Star game, right? So you got that going on. We see it in football. We see it in some respects with challenges in basketball. So how will technology or the future, whether it's AI, could you ever see a day, guys, where there are no basketball officials on the court, no referees? Could you see that happening?
Not in basketball. No, not in basketball. There's the technology there, and there's the coaches' challenges, and there's replays and reviews. But I'll tell you what there isn't with AI and with a computer. Player, coach, communication. We still need communication between officials and players and officials and coaches. You're not getting that from a computer. Computers and replay assist. And people say to me, and I work on replays with the NBA, and there were replays even when I was refereeing back in the NCAA, and people say, did you oppose? No. What does a referee want to do? They want to get it correct. Two types of calls, not good, not bad, correct and incorrect. And all we want to do is get it correct. And if it means they're going to reverse a call that Motzi made on an out of bounds, he's pleased about that, because we're there to serve the game.
Yeah, get it right.
To serve the players. They're not there to see
You're not offended by this. You're not offended.
I'm not offended. I'm offended. You talk about when you're watching different games. I watch the officials, okay? I watch their professionalism. I watch their confidence, okay? You got to have confidence to blow your whistle. You got to blow your whistle. And then, if it's proven that you're incorrect, that's fine with me. We got it right. We got it right. But I could have just as easily not blown my whistle and kind of gone, wait for somebody else or blow the whistle. No, that's not what it's about. You got to make the decision. That's why sometimes I get frustrated when I see games and boom, the guys tackle or the ball goes up, and you don't hear any whistle or nothing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, to me, the CFL, like every time there's something that all of a sudden it's like the Knights of Columbus, the round table, they all get together. And then it looks like they wait for somebody. And even when they change calls, I don't know what's a challenge. I don't know what, the center called and we have to move the ball up 2 yards. Like,
but we want to get it right. The replay, if they reverse a call that we made and it's correct. Bubba, you're a journalist, and I would like you to communicate this. The referees are there to serve the game and get the call correct. What the fans don't like is the long delay.
Great point.
If we can do the replay in minimal seconds and get it correct, and if it's a reversal of a call that Motzi made, he's happy.
Yeah.
And the reason he's happy, he's there to serve the game, to serve the players, to serve the coaches, not to make a spectacle of himself. But I think we need to do more training on replays to move it along.
Right.
And I know they're working on that in the CFL with the replay center, no longer the command center. They're trying to make the call where there's less time, less delay. That's what we got to improve. Will there ever be a computer refereeing a basketball game? Never. Will there be a computer assisting refereeing it? Absolutely.
I think because, I mean, I see it probably maybe in tennis, right, where they have the Hawkeye.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Right? Like, it's right there.
Yeah.
Like for the fans, for the players,
Right.
for the chair judge to see. Like, there's no argument.
Right.
Right? So, now, tennis is a little more cut and dry.
It is.
Because, I don't know, I still don't know what the difference is in a block charge, right? Like, that can be defined in so many different ways, right, guys? You know that. Because we see that sometimes, and I think in the days of you being at the Raptor game so much, when Kyle Lowry was at the Raptor, like, you must have been like, oh my goodness, because you can't really tell when he's like, boing.
Well, you know, I'll tell you about that replay with Kyle Lowry. There was a play where the ball went up and we awarded him a 3-point shot. The replay center called me and said, Ron, look at that on your screen, which I did. My screen in front of me is high definition, and his foot was on the line. So we had to take the point away, and the Raptors lost by 1 point. But, Bubs, we got it correct. And you know, the coach for Toronto, I've got to give him a lot of credit when Kyle was playing. And it was Nick Nurse, who was a enthusiastic coach, didn't always agree. But he said to me, several hours later, I saw the replay, we got it correct. I have no argument. I like that.
It's classy. It's
Get it correct.
Get it correct.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah. Not good, not bad. Correct or incorrect. But we're not going to give up our profession to a computer.
Yes.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that, because the human element of it's so important.
When you watch games on TV, it doesn't matter what game it is. You're sitting there and you're watching, and you don't realize the speed that game's being played at.
I try to tell people this all the time.
Until you're there.
Yeah.
Like the speed of the athletes, the split-second catch, fumble, all that stuff. They're all hard decisions. At the higher the level you get, the harder to get, because it's so fast and so quick.
Fast.
Yeah. I like to see officials bang, blow that whistle. And now we have the technology that, you know what, you can review it. You know, but be assertive at the time of this, because that's the only way you get to be better as an official. If you keep saying, oh, well, they'll look at it upstairs, that doesn't make you a good, and in all the sports. And part of that is you can blow your whistle, then when it goes to replay, they won't boo you because they can't see the person that's changed the call because they're in Toronto.
That's right. Exactly. That's
so they have nobody to yell at.
You know, you opened the door for one more thing, and I have to ask this to you, Ron, because you've been in this situation before, especially as an official's observer at the NBA level.
Yes.
Because I hear this all the time, regardless of the sport. So maybe you can give many of our listeners and viewers the answer to this question, because certain officials, whose names I will not say, there's a couple in the CFL, one in particular, right, where everyone knows their names, right? Yeah. And they're saying, how is that guy, I'll just use the CFL example, how on earth is that guy able to be the head referee of a Grey Cup? Like, he's blown this call, they've blown this call. Can you please explain that in all sports, the referees are graded throughout the entire year?
Oh, absolutely. And I did that job in the NBA for 10 years. We evaluated and rated every single call and every single non-call. So when you blow the whistle, that's a call, and it's a CC or an IC. And a call that's a play on is either an NCI, non-call incorrect, or NCC, non-call correct. So in all these professional leagues, and even in the college leagues now, they get evaluated on every call. So we had a changing of the guard this year in the NBA. I mean, we had Josh Tiven, James Williams. Isn't that great? Young people graded high, excellent, to deserve. You don't get appointed to the playoffs. You earn the playoffs. And it's really tough to be a professional referee at the professional level, at the university level, because you're evaluated. You're evaluated on every call and every non-call, and also off the court stuff, player-coach communication, your work ethic. Do you arrive on time? What's your evaluation of your pregame? What's the evaluation of your postgame? You know, the most important thing one of the most important things is your pregame. The crew chief's job is to inspire his crew to get better, to be excellent. You'll never be perfect. With hard work, you'll be excellent. So, do they give a good pregame? Do they give the best postgame? Now, first question a good referee asks in the postgame, you don't go into the locker room, open up the Coke and say, aren't we great? You go in, and if Matzi's my partner, Matz, tell me what we could have done better. Yeah. Because when you stop learning, quit. So, when you see the referee that you don't like on a final, he's graded out very good to earn the right. It's not political. You're not designated. You're not voted by the fans.
Yeah.
You have earned a grading to get to the championship.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that the Fox 40 Academy develops officials that are all doing championship games.
Yes.
And
yes.
Whether it be at the U Sports, whether it be the CEBL, and maybe even one day the NBA, guys.
Yes.
This has been fabulous. I wish you luck at your camp. I don't think you need it, though. You guys have been doing it and helping out people in our area, develop good men and good women to take control of games and, as you said, get the call right.
Thank you, Bubba, and thank you. I've watched you your entire career. You're a professional, and Matzi and I and everybody associated with our industry appreciates you helping us promote basketball officiating for the betterment of the game.
Well, it's a pleasure for me. I look at what you guys have done and your commitment, and we talked about this off the very beginning, and the fact that mentorship and maybe what I do and what you guys do are completely different, but I still look at you guys as professionals and the way you operate yourself in the community, and it's to be certainly desired.
We're going back to Mohawk College where Bubba O'Neill graduated.
Where I failed.
Can I share those?
Failed.
Can I share
Got
those
kicked out.
sentiments also, Bubs?
Along with your son, by the way.
Yes.
I think of you as Bubs. I don't think of you as an announcer or a TV personality, because that's where we started. And we started there, and it was the game of basketball that brought us.
Yeah.
And we became lifelong friends
No
from
doubt.
that. And that's the beauty of this game. And I'm sure it's the same with all the other games. But for us, like basketball, the people I've met, the friendships I've made.
It's great.
It's second to none.
I want to finish with one thing. I've known Bubba since he's been in high school. He and my son Steve went to Mohawk College. And I swear to God they went to Mohawk College to stay warm in February. Anyway, we had started, when you were at Mohawk, we had started Fox 40, and I called Steve, who was in journalist school with Bubba, and I said, Steve, I need you at work. He said, I was just offered $5 a week more from a radio station than you're offering me to come to work. And I said, you tell the radio station to suck eggs. You're coming down here to work at Fox 40. And he did.
He did.
He left his buddy, Bubba. He said, I'm going to have to leave Bubba. And because we were always going to class together, and I said, don't fool me. You and Bubba were only there to stay warm in February. So your listeners, your great audience need to know the real story, Bubba.
Thanks for breaking that story.
We're proud of you.
Thanks for breaking that story.
Much love to you and CHCH.
Much love. Much love.
Much appreciated, guys.
Thanks
for coming on.
Thank you.
That's your Sportsline Podcast for the day. And if you just seen and heard, we love talking sports. These guys. If you do know of an athlete, team, or event to promote, the Sportsline Podcast do want to hear from you. Please hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe button. And if you have something to say, we always appreciate your comments. You know that. For the outstanding people that make the Sportsline Podcast possible, thank you so very much. And we'll see you real soon.